Okay, welcome to Two Point Interior Final. The process is once you've got a thumbnail you feel pretty good about, then you want to translate it into your larger scale. And so a key thing to do is to make sure the proportions of the length to the width are at least proximal to your thumbnail, unless you're really deviating from the thumbnail and making big changes. If it looks good, if you like it, make sure you keep that. And then the next thing you want to keep is the horizon line in terms of where is it on the page. Here it's not quite half down. It's half would be about there. So it's a little bit above half, and which corresponds to about someone about 5'8". Standing and looking at this room that I have. And now here's a light sketch I just did. I didn't make a thumbnail, I just made it up. But if you have a thumbnail, do that concept. So once you get that, you want to make sure your major landmarks are put in, which are basically walls, and which give you the floor and ceiling line. And so what I've got here is, I'm just going to emphasize this, there's this thing here that demarks the doorway. Oops. And then here's the door that's opening here, and it's swung open. The way a door can swing open is if you create a square in perspective like this. So in other words, you want this to look, if it goes like this, that's not a square, that's a rectangle in perspective. So if you create it so it looks like it's going back to the vanishing point with that, then that is the arc that the door swings on. And so you can go from the corner to any line along that arc, and that is the width of the door as it goes back. Brilliant. This is a ceiling line. Now I'm not using a ruler yet. I will. I'm just doing this to show. Here's a ceiling line that's actually going into a vaulted ceiling here. Straight vaults going up. So I'm going to create kind of like a solarium, because I grew up in the 70s and read Mother Earth News, and so here you go. So there's that. So this is the turn of the ceiling line. Here I'm going to have the corner go back here. That's where the room ends, back there. This is going to be the floor line through here. And then, you know, I've got a table plotted out here, plant with plot, and then chair, chair. Now notice that the chairs are off my vanishing points. Here's a vanishing point, here's a vanishing point, barely off the page. And I would have them off more. You get into weird distortion quickly. But I turn them off axis, so the vanishing point for this chair is going to there, and then somewhere past this point over here. And then this one is similar, has a point here and over here on this side. So yeah, you want to I would just lightly sketch in the basic feeling of where does it go. Look how light I have it. You can hardly even see it. So, but once you get it plotted in, then you can start going and sealing the deal more. Okay, so here is the next phase. You can see I've really developed things a lot. This used to be more like an Adirondack chair, and I made it like my childhood memory wicker, weird metal rocker chair. And so I solidified all the lines, the horizon lines, you know, make everything so it's legitimate, not just sketchy. I estimate things, but I'm often off, so I find that. One thing I want to point out quickly is I had these angled rafters in the gable, the angled roof line up here. And so what I did is I established, I went from here to here to here to here, and well, actually this rectangle right here, and then X'd and found the center, and the center was about here. And then that's how I judged where my rafter would be, by finding the center right of this rectangle. And then with that, in order to get it in perspective the whole way, what you have to do is change where this vanishing point is. So all the lines here are going to this vanishing point. This line, all the lines running in this direction are going to this vanishing point. Well, these lines are running in this direction, but they're going in a different they're going to a different horizon line, basically. So what I do is I just take a vertical line down from the vanishing point, and then where this line intersects becomes the new vanishing point for all of these lines here. They're all going to this. That's how you deal with roof pitches, with stairways, with things on angle. If they're perpendicular to what's going on in a room or a city, then you can extend the vanishing point up or down and then take them parallel lines to that. For your ellipses, I constructed these using a square and the points of tangency. I did with this, though it rubbed away as well. With the table, it's really good to think of where the legs are hitting. I even drew them on top like it's a timber frame, which is even a good idea no matter what table. You can plot them on top using ruler lines, and then you can go ahead and extend them beneath that according to where they come to. That just helps to make sense of things. So, yeah, I am not going to have time to take this to a finished project, a finished place, but at this point you just want to solidify everything in graphite. You want to get it up to this level. In terms of what's going back here, there's not enough information. You know, I'm going to put windows, I'm going to finish my bonsai, I'm going to do this chair back there. Oh, one thing I quickly wanted to say is a relative scale. You want to be careful that a chair in the distance isn't like just way out of proportion with another chair. And so if I had a ruler, what I would do is go for the height of this chair. I could say the height of this chair is this and this. That is my height dimension, okay? And then I can take this back through close to where this is with a vanishing point. So I could take a ruler line and take it all the way through to the bottom of this chair point to where it hits a point there with a horizon line. And then I can take this and run it through to the horizon line. Now I'm not using a ruler because I don't have it with me. But what this tells me is that basically the height here is pretty similar to the height there. And that makes sense to me. So you want to make sure that you can just follow perspective lines back in space to figure out if things are proportional to one another. Okay.